If you enjoy giving or receiving erotic humiliation in your BDSM play, what does that say about you or your partner? Is erotic humiliation able to be performed with full safety and sanity? Or is it a toxic paraphilia that should be avoided? Stay tuned today as I answer these questions and discuss the 4 major points you need to know about erotic edge play. As I covered in my video, Degradation Play 101, erotic degradation and humiliation are often very interchangeable terms that refer to a form of edge play in which the top player invokes intense feelings of submission within the bottom player through verbal humiliation or physically demeaning acts. So if you haven't already watched that video, I suggest you do so to gain a foundation for this type of play, because I have 4 vital facts to cover with you today, starting with erotic humiliation is a form of sadomasochism. Now, there are mixed arguments even from those in the lifestyle claiming that this type of play is across the board wrong. It cannot be done safely and sanely, and therefore it violates the tenets of BDSM. I think that's a very limited way of looking at it. Essentially, erotic humiliation is consensual and desired emotional pain that puts the submissive in a lowly, humble, and vulnerable state. Furthermore, non-erotic humiliation stimulates the same regions in the brain associated with physical pain. So this is a form of emotional sadomasochism. Okay, this is essentially a pain kink. So when I say it's a limited argument to state that physical pain in the lifestyle is great, but emotional pain in the lifestyle is not, to me, that's a very intellectually inconsistent argument. It would be intellectually inconsistent to conclude that erotic humiliation is unhealthy or wrong if we measure it by the same standards of safety, sanity, and consent that conclude physical forms of sadomasochism are perfectly acceptable. Do you see what I'm saying? Therefore, that's why I'm putting it into the sadomasochistic, the pain kink category, is where players can experience deep levels of submission through physical pain. Players can also experience deep levels of submission through emotional pain in the forms of consensual erotic humiliation and degradation. But that brings us to our second fact of the day, which is that erotic humiliation is a highly relative term. Okay, now you have probably, if you've spent any time here on this channel, heard me say that BDSM is not a closet to come out of, it is a buffet to choose from. So everything in the lifestyle, there's no pressure. There's no pressure on you as a newer seasoned player to engage in anything that you do not feel 100% safe, comfortable, and confident in. All right? So the thing is, though, with edge play, and this really is edge play, this is emotional edge play when it comes to this realm of play, what feels humiliating to one feels safe or loving to another. And there are many ways to engage in this type of play at varying intensity levels. But because I cannot provide you with specific examples here, I've done something better with my ultimate guide to emotional edge play on Patreon, which includes 4 full-length humiliation play stories, 8 full-length humiliation play audios, a yes, no, maybe checklist with 45 humiliation play ideas, and links to 10 more of my published humiliation play scenes. So just go over to patreon.com/LXerotica to get instant access to this guide so you can start exploring the eroticism of emotional edge play for yourself. Because as I was saying, BDSM is not a closet to come out of, it is a buffet to choose from. And this facet of play is no different. What some people find tasty and want seconds of on their plate, others will completely overlook in the kinky buffet. It's all relative to you and your dynamic. So if this doesn't intrigue you, don't feel like it should, or don't feel like you're less than. Your journey in BDSM should serve you and make you feel empowered and safe. Fact number 3, erotic humiliation is an emotional game that should exaggerate the power exchange. All right, so a couple of points there. This is a game that should exaggerate the power exchange. All right, this is a game. I'm emphasizing that because it should be viewed as such. This should be viewed as a game. This should not be an opportunity for you as the top, as the dominant, to vent pent up anger or be abusive to your bottom or your submissive in any way. Which brings me to the second facet of this point. It's a game that should exaggerate the power exchange. So you want to humiliate and degrade around themes of power, status, and vulnerability. You do not want to demean, degrade, humiliate around your submissive's worth, value, or sense of identity. Because then it takes it out of the game element and it puts it into very, very real and potentially very harmful terms for your submissive. And that's part of safety here, is we are looking out for everyone's emotional safety in this. That is why it should be viewed as a game, almost like a role play. And that's part of what I mentioned in my Degradation Play 101 video, is you need to keep it in context and keep it within the scene. There should be a contrast in the scene and out of the scene. You shouldn't be talking to your submissive like this all the time, because then it will cease to become a game that you play in your scenes, and it will be a very real attack that can be very abusive. And that is not even in the realm of territory we want to go near. So we want to stay so far on the other side. And that's why I say make sure that you keep it as a game and you play around themes of power exchange, of vulnerability, never an attack on your submissive's identity, their worth, or their value. And that brings us to point number 4. Erotic humiliation requires clear lines and boundaries. Okay, because erotic humiliation and degradation are so organic and the boundary lines are so unique to each individual, it's crucial for top and bottom players to have very clear limits and have those limits fully understood by the other partner. For those of you who are new here, I'm a dominant switch, and my switch point is 100% sexual, making me a sexual bottom. So I do not tolerate on the bottom side any humiliation or degradation. But again, like I said, this type of edge play is very relative. So someone put spanking in the humiliation category. I don't. So my partner is permitted to administer impact play because I define that in the realm of physical pain, not emotional pain. I'm not humiliated or find that degrading in any way. So that's part of my translation. As a bottom, that's how I look at it. But as a dominant, my boundary lines are much more liberal. Part of my line here is only comment about things that your submissive is able to change. Okay? Otherwise, you're going to beckon insecurities and potentially create major disconnection. Do you see what I'm saying? So if your submissive is malodorous, okay, in a scene, then you can humiliate and degrade around that because they can change that. They can go take a shower, right? But if you are demeaning, degrading, humiliating around some part of their body, their face, something they cannot change, what are you going to do? You've presented something in the context of humiliation or degradation, even in play, but they can't fix it. They can't do anything about it. And so yes, it may stay in a play context, but do you see the line there? Do you see how that could potentially get their brain going and thinking, well, what if other people do view me this way? I mean, I know I'm still loved by my dominant, but What if other people see this in me? And they can get in their head and they can become very, very insecure. Do you see what I'm saying? So again, that's what we want to avoid. We want to stay way out of that territory. So part of that is ensuring that anything that you comment on or play around in this realm of emotional edge play is something that not only is fully within your submissive's limits and their boundaries, but you comment or play around things they can actually change and adjust. So to recap our 4 points today, erotic humiliation is a form of emotional sadomasochism or edge play. Erotic humiliation is a highly relative game that should exaggerate the power dynamic. And most importantly, erotic humiliation requires clear lines and boundaries from both dominant and submissive. So again, if you want my ultimate guide to emotional edge play, just go over to patreon.com/LXerotica to get instant access to this amazing resource. And if you found this content helpful, hit like and subscribe if you haven't already. Click that notification bell so you'll never miss a post, and comment below with any questions you would like me to answer in an upcoming video.